Halloween, 1974. The night was filled with the nostalgic charm of vintage decorations, casting an eerie yet enchanting glow over the neighborhood. The air, crisp and cool, carried the scent of fallen leaves and the promise of a night filled with both excitement and mystery. Children, eyes shining, anticipation building, roamed the streets in their colorful costumes, their laughter echoing through the night. Little did anyone know a darkness lurked, ready to stain the night with unspeakable horror, hidden in the shadows of what seemed like an innocent celebration. In Pasadena, Texas, Ronald Clark O'Bryan, an unassuming optician, walked alongside his children, their laughter a chilling counterpoint to the evil he harbored within. The O'Bryan family, like many others, embarked on their annual trick-or-treating ritual, unaware of the sinister plan that was about to unfold. Their seemingly ordinary evening would soon descend into a nightmare, a night that would be remembered for its tragic end. As the children gleefully collected their sugary spoils, a sinister plan was already in motion, hidden behind the facade of a loving father. A plan hatched within the mind of the man they trusted most, their father, who had carefully orchestrated every detail. One child, 8-year-old Timothy, eager to sample his sweet treasures, reached for a seemingly harmless pixie sticks, its powdered sugar contents promising a sugary delight, unaware of the danger it held. This, however, was no ordinary treat. It was a deadly trap, masked as a sweet indulgence. This was a sinister concoction, laced with a lethal dose of cyanide prepared by his own father, turning a night of joy into one of unimaginable sorrow. Moments after Timothy ingested the poisoned candy, he complained of a searing pain in his stomach, his small body racked with convulsions, the poison taking its deadly toll. Rushed to the hospital, little Timothy succumbed to the deadly poison, his life tragically cut short, the joy of Halloween forever extinguished, leaving a family shattered and a community in shock. News of Timothy's death ripped through Pasadena like a shockwave. The unthinkable had happened. A child on Halloween night, poisoned by candy. Fear, swift and consuming, gripped the community. Parents frantically emptied their children's bags, searching for any trace of the tainted sweets. The idyllic image of Halloween lay shattered, replaced by the chilling realization that a monster walked among them. But who? The question echoed through the stunned community. Whispers of suspicion began to circulate, fingers pointed at strangers, at neighbors, yet the truth, far more sinister, resided within the O'Bryan family home. Ronald, the grieving father, remained curiously detached, his grief lacking the raw, visceral agony of a parent who had just lost a child. As investigators delved into the tragic events of that Halloween night, their suspicion increasingly focused on Ronald O'Bryan. The evidence, though circumstantial, was damning. Witnesses recalled seeing Ronald lagging behind the children, seemingly fiddling with their candy bags. Furthermore, investigators discovered that Ronald, deeply in debt and facing mounting financial pressure, had recently taken out substantial life insurance policies on his children, including Timothy. The motive, it seemed, was chillingly clear: greed. Ronald O'Bryan, driven by desperation and a callous disregard for human life, had sacrificed his own son for the meager sum the insurance policy would provide. The news of Ronald's arrest sent shockwaves through Pasadena and beyond. The community was left reeling, struggling to process the gravity of the situation. The image of a father, a protector, capable of such a heinous act was almost impossible to comprehend. Public outrage was palpable, the community's trust was shattered, and fear began to spread like wildfire. How could a man entrusted with the life of his child betray that trust in such a cold-blooded manner? The betrayal felt personal to many, as if their own sense of safety had been violated. The trial of Ronald Clark O'Bryan became a media spectacle, captivating the nation with its gruesome details and the unimaginable depravity of the accused. Every new revelation added to the horror. The prosecution presented a compelling case, detailing the financial motive, the suspicious behavior, and the scientific evidence linking the cyanide in the pixie sticks to Ronald. The evidence was overwhelming. Ronald, throughout the trial, maintained his innocence. His calm demeanor was unsettling to many who watched the proceedings. However, his stoicism, his lack of outward grief, did little to sway the jury. The jurors remained focused and serious, weighing the evidence carefully. The evidence, coupled with his chilling demeanor, painted a damning picture. The courtroom was filled with a tense silence as the judge delivered the final chilling statement. The prosecution meticulously laid out Ronald's dire financial situation. Crippled by debt, facing the prospect of losing his job, Ronald saw his children not as beloved offspring but as assets, their lives worth more to him in death than in life. The life insurance policies taken out just weeks before Timothy's death became a focal point of the trial. The prosecution argued that these policies, totaling a significant sum, were the driving force behind Ronald's unspeakable act. Ronald's defense team attempted to cast doubt on the prosecution's case, suggesting that Timothy's death might have been a tragic accident, a result of contaminated candy. However, the prosecution effectively countered these claims, pointing out the targeted nature of the poisoning, the fact that only Timothy's candy was laced with cyanide. Justice for Timothy, a nation's outrage. The courtroom, packed with journalists, spectators, and family members, hung on every word as the trial unfolded. The atmosphere was heavy with anticipation, with the grim understanding that a man was on trial for the unthinkable, the premeditated murder of his own son. The prosecution, with meticulous precision, presented a mountain of evidence, each piece reinforcing the narrative of a cold, calculating killer motivated by greed. Witness testimonies, forensic analysis, and financial records all pointed to Ronald's guilt. The defense, fighting an uphill battle, attempted to poke holes in the prosecution's case. Their arguments, however, lacked the same weight, the same chilling clarity. The walls close in, a guilty verdict. After weeks of intense testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict: guilty. Ronald Clark O'Bryan, the man who had used Halloween, a night of childhood innocence, to commit an act of unspeakable cruelty, was convicted of capital murder. Gasps filled the courtroom, followed by a wave of hushed murmurs. The verdict, while anticipated, still carried a heavy weight, a stark reminder of the capacity for evil that can reside within the human heart. For many, the guilty verdict brought a sense of closure, of justice served. However, the shadow of Ronald's crime, the chilling image of a father who could so callously take the life of his own child, continued to haunt. The price of betrayal, the executioner's shadow. Sentenced to death for his heinous crime, Ronald Clark O'Bryan spent 9 years on death row, his appeals exhausted. His execution, originally scheduled for Halloween 1982, was delayed until March 31, 1984. On that day, as the lethal injection flowed, Ronald O'Bryan, the man once known as the Candyman, paid the ultimate price for his crime. His death, however, did little to erase the pain, the horror that he had inflicted. The execution marked the end of a chapter in a story that shook a nation, a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of innocence and the devastating consequences of greed. Halloween's dark legacy, a reminder in every shadow. The case of Ronald Clark O'Bryan left an indelible mark on Halloween, forever altering the way we approach this once carefree holiday. Known infamously as the Candyman, O'Brien's heinous act of poisoning his own child's Halloween candy sent shockwaves through communities, instilling a deep-seated fear that lingers to this day. The fear he ignited, the realization that evil could lurk beneath the most ordinary facade, led to a heightened awareness of safety, a vigilance that persists to this day. Parents began to question the safety of every piece of candy, every friendly neighbor, and every seemingly innocent gesture. Parents, once content to let their children roam free on Halloween night, now accompany them, their watchful eyes scanning every treat, every interaction. The carefree joy of Halloween has been replaced with a cautious celebration where safety is paramount. The trust, once implicit, has been replaced with a cautious scrutiny, a reminder of the darkness that can shatter the illusion of safety. Every piece of candy is inspected. Every stranger's smile is met with suspicion, a stark contrast to the innocent fun of yesteryears. Though decades have passed, the chilling story of Ronald Clark O'Bryan serves as a haunting reminder, a cautionary tale whispered on the wind every Halloween. His actions have left an indelible scar on the collective memory of society, a scar that reopens every October. It is a reminder of the fragility of life, the importance of vigilance, and the enduring power of a parent's love. A love that Ronald, in his greed and desperation, so tragically betrayed. This story, though dark, underscores the lengths to which parents will go to protect their children, a testament to the enduring strength of familial bonds.